Good dog back again. Once again, let's lock in. There are a lot of guys that don't necessarily understand why somebody like myself and a lot of my fellow brethren who have been to the Philippines refuse to date Filipinas that prior or have previously dated foreign men before. There are a lot of guys that don't understand, Doc, why does it matter if she dated a foreigner before you? And today, guys, we're going to explain that, or at least from my perspective, why I believe it is not in your best interest to date Filipinas and or foreign women that have probably dated foreigners before you. Now, first things first, big difference between dating and hooking up, right? If you're just hooking up, who cares what her dating history is like? As long as you strap it up, wrap it up, I think you'll be all right. But as far as like dating and choosing to try to create some type of relationship with them, a little bit different. I've always learned that there is this thing that Filipinas do no matter what situation they're in. And some women may do this as well, other women, but there's the constant need to compare. Okay? That's first. Now, there's a comparison between the relationship you have with her and the prior relationship she had with the other foreigner. There's always a comparison, right? And heaven forbid you do something that the other foreigner wouldn't have done and it was negative, or she brings up, oh, the other guy used to do this for me. So you always find yourself in a constant comparison between you and the other guy. The same way I negate that shit, I negate it with all females. I'm like, look, if this motherfucker was so great, why the fuck you not with him, right? If he was this knight in shining armor, what the fuck happened, right? Oh, he cheated this, and miss me with that bullshit. So, when women deal with foreigners prior to you, constant need to compare, and like I said, it just becomes a test of times. Like, oh, well, the guy I dated before did this, that, and other. Nobody's trying to hear that shit. Second, if she dated a foreigner prior to you and that guy broke her heart or made her feel bad or whatever, now you're in the mending mode, or you're the guy that has to try to fix this chick. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm not in the business of trying to fix what somebody else broke. Right? It depends on the situation, but for the most part, I'm not in this business to try to fix what somebody else broke. Okay? And it's different if her heart was broken by a Filipino guy. Who gives a shit? Right? Because I'm not Filipino. Right? I'm the foreigner man. But if her heart was broken by a foreigner prior to you, now you're mending this. You're trying to fix this. And guys, I'm telling you right now, there is nothing more daunting of a task than trying to fix what somebody else broke, right? Because there's this constant need for, oh my God, all foreigners are this, all foreigners are that, all foreigners are cheaters, this last guy did this last guy did that to me, and you have to try your damnedest, if you really care, to try to convince this young lady, yo, that's not me. I'm not that guy. I didn't do that to you. He did that to you, right? I'm not him. So rather than going through that particular process, that's why a lot of us choose to just avoid, in general, dating Filipinas or foreign women that dated foreigners prior to us, right? I will be the first to admit, never be the last to admit, that all foreigners that travel to a place like the Philippines do not have the best of intentions, okay? All foreigners that travel to any place abroad doesn't always have your best interest at heart. Some guys are just there to fuck around and have fun, and sometimes they do that at the expense of the emotions of other females, right? They do that at the expense of having Filipinas fall for them, and then, they just break their hearts, or, something happens down the line and it kind of scars them for life, or you get them pregnant and you leave them. Any particular thing could happen in that particular situation. So if we are at a stage in our lives wherein some of us, this is always a debatable topic, but wherein you're not willing to play stepdaddy to some Filipino who had a baby by a foreign man or by any other man, why would you put yourself in a situation where you have to try to fix what something was broken, or in a situation where you find yourself in constant comparison, right? And it just becomes too much for you to have to deal with, and I kind of feel like starting out in the relationship, you're already going to be starting at a deficit. That's the best way for me to put it. In the relationship, you're already going to be starting out at a deficit, bro. It's like, dude, constant comparisons. Now I got to try to fix what this dude broke. I ain't got time for that. I ain't got time for it. I don't want to make time for that. I did not sign up for this shit, right? So if you didn't sign up for it, gentlemen, I believe you should avoid it at all costs. Now, there are a couple of Filipinas that have dated foreigners prior. You know, they kind of used it as a learning lesson, right? And this is where it comes to the detriment of the foreigner in this particular situation. This is my third one. And if they've learned foreigners by dealing with this guy, if you have any tricks of the trade or whatever, they're not gonna work. Okay, they're not gonna work. She's already been through that with the other guy, so chances are, if she knows the moves that foreigners can make, or she already is aware of what's gonna happen, or she's been through it before and she's kind of believing, again, going back to the comparisons and or dealing with a foreigner that may have broke her before, she knows what the words or the flowery words that foreigners will say to try to, you know, melt the hearts of Filipinas or whatever, or women abroad. She ain't falling for that shit. Now, again, I'm not trying to tell you to use certain tactics to try to swoon your way into some shit, but every now and again, even if you are genuinely sincere with what you're saying, if the guy said the exact same things before you, guess what? In one ear, out the other. You understand? So rather than dealing with the headache of trying to undo what somebody else did or try to come after, figuratively and literally, come after another foreigner, I just feel like it's in your best interest to deal with the young lady that has yet to deal with a foreign man, right? Now, if you have an argument for why you believe it doesn't really matter, like The Rock says, it doesn't matter what your name is. If you have a contradicting point of view, comment section below, guys. Have at it like a crack addict. If you believe there is genuinely no reason or rhyme or reason why a foreigner should not date a Filipino that dated a foreigner prior, let me know. I would love to hear what you guys got to say about that one. These are just some of the reasons why I personally believe foreigners should avoid dating Filipinos that dated foreigners prior. Okay? Y'all take care, man. Y'all stay blessed. Doc's out. Peace.